Family, welcome to Executing My Essence Ministries Freedom Fridays with your host, which is myself, Ashley D. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. And I am excited that the Lord has allowed me to see another beautiful Friday, and I'm quite sure you all are excited too. Listen, I know it's been a week and a half since you've seen my face. If you know, you know, and I want to say thank you publicly for all of your text messages, your phone calls, your prayers, the check-ins. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I also want to say thank you for your patience with me. It has been a challenging week for myself and my significant other, but God is still good. God is still faithful, and we still love him, and we still trust him, and we thank him for what he has done, what he is doing, and what he is going to continue to do in our lives. So thank you again publicly. I want to say thank you for your love, your compassion, your patience with us on this past week. But listen, we have been talking about the 5 love languages as it pertains to God. And I have to give you a twofer because I missed last Friday with all that was going on. So twofer, I want to talk about acts of service and receiving gifts, which kind of goes hand in hand for me. So when I talk about acts of service, when we talk about acts of service, we know that means doing something nice for the other person that they actually like. And as far as receiving gifts, people like gifts. You might need to pick up a gift that they like, to actually show that you love them. And so as it pertains to God, the first thing that I think about is we were blessed with the ultimate gift of Christ. God sent down his son who knew no sin to become sin to save us from all of our sins. And he is the ultimate gift giver. And because of that, we should give God everything that we have. Now, God has also given us, each of us, specific gifts and talents in our lives. If I could speak for myself, he has given me the gift of accounting, the gift of administration, the gift of marketing and graphic designing. He has given me the gift of leading worship. Those are the different gifts that God has given me throughout my life. And one thing that I have always been adamant about is actually giving those gifts back to him by serving him wholeheartedly. One of the things that my parents have always instilled in me is to be a servant to the kingdom. And that's what I have always been. So I have always used my gifts and talents. So administration, I am the church administrator at my church. When it comes down to accounting, I handle finances as well. When it comes down to live streaming marketing, I do the graphics, not only for EME, but for my church. I have done administration for other churches. I have done, the whole marketing scene, or gotten them connected with people who do, live stream like I do. And, I have used my gifts and talents effectively in the kingdom. And so today I want to challenge you to, if you're unsure about what your gifts and talents are, sit down and, ask God, what are my gifts and talents that you have given me so I can give them back to you? We all have different gifts and talents, but it's even better. We can show our love even better to him when we actually give it back to him. Oftentimes when we talk about receiving gifts, we immediately go to the financial portion, but stewardship is more than that. Receiving gifts is more than that. It can be your time, your talent, or your treasure, which is literally all tied into the 5 love languages. But, as far as receiving gifts, as far as us giving gifts back to God, give him your time. He has given us time. And what I mean is, there are some days that after all the stuff we have done, God should have never woken us up the next day to get it right with him. But he continues to touch his hand on us and wake us up to give us another opportunity to spend time with him. So give him your time, give him your talent, like I said, your gifts and talents that he has given you, give them back to the kingdom, give them back to him by serving him with those gifts and talents wholeheartedly. And your treasure, we are talking about finances right now. You know, God has blessed us with jobs that we may not want, we may not like, because we feel like we deserve better, but he has given us jobs in order to take care of our families. So why not give back to God a seed? Like, God only asks for 10%. He only asks for a tithe. That means every dollar that you make, he's only asking for 10% while you keep the 90%. Who wouldn't want to give back to a God like that, who's not asking for much? He's only asking for 10% of whatever you make. So today, I want to challenge you to, number one, figure out what it is that God has given you, the gifts and talents he has instilled in you. And then once you identify those gifts, try serving. If you don't already do it, try using those gifts and talents to serve him and to give back to him. Again, give him your time, give him your talent, give him your treasure. He's deserving of it all. If no one else is deserving of it, he is. So today on this Freedom Friday, be free to serve him and be free to give him gifts. For God has already given us the ultimate gift of sending down his son to save us from all of our sins. So I hope something was said to encourage you on this beautiful Freedom Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in to Executing My Essence Ministries Freedom Fridays with your host, which is myself, Ashley D. I love you with the love of Christ, and I will see you again on next week. God bless you.